Hi everyone, last year we took a look at the Reno5 Pro. All in all, it was a pretty decent phone with some interesting features. This year OPPO released the Reno5 series, and today we have the Reno5 Pro 5G with us. It retails at $899 here in Singapore, but before we take a closer look at the phone, let's unbox it. The Reno5 Pro comes in a nice cyan box, a very minimal design for the box art. Sliding the sleeve off and opening the inner box, first we have some accessories. A SIM ejector pin, some standard documentation, and a transparent plastic case. Nothing else in there. Next we have the phone. We'll put it aside first. Underneath there's the charger. Once again, the SuperVolt charger is pretty chunky to provide reliable fast charging. A standard USB-A to USB-C cable. Underneath we have the USB-C earphones. A very familiar design. And that's it for the unboxing. The Reno5 Pro seems to still retain the slim and slick design that the Reno4 Pro had. It's 7.6mm thick and weighs 173 grams, making it very comfortable to use. It comes in two color schemes, Starry Black and Galaxy Silver. This is the Galaxy Silver version, which has quite a unique look. The colors on the back of the phone vary according to the direction of light shining onto it, creating a sort of pearlescent and rainbow look. The power button is on the right side of the phone, with the volume rocker situated on the left. The Reno5 Pro does not have a 3.5mm headphone jack. Instead, the USB-C charging port can be used for wired headphone connections. OPPO does provide a pair of USB-C earphones with the Reno5 Pro, which sound pretty decent actually. There's a single loudspeaker also on the bottom of the phone. The phone supports dual SIM and unfortunately does not support expandable storage. On the back of the phone, the multitude of cameras are neatly placed on the upper left. It sits pretty close to the frame, so there's hardly any camera bump. And also the front selfie cam is built into the screen. And on the top of the phone, it says designed for Reno. All in all, it's pretty standard stuff, which is great. It's a familiar design, so you can just jump right onto the phone without much fuss. Battery life is decent enough. With a slim design, battery life had to be limited at 4350 mAh. It generally lasts for about a day and a half with normal usage. The phone doesn't support wireless charging, but the SuperVolt charging system has been pretty reliable in providing fast charging times. One thing I really appreciate about the phone is the customization options that's available to you. ColorOS 11 has made basic customization options conveniently accessible in the Personalizations tab in the Settings menu. You can easily change your phone's themes, wallpapers, app icon, fonts, and more with this tab. It's always nice to have this sort of customization settings available. It helps you personalize your phone even more. The fingerprint sensor is relatively accurate and quick. So far I haven't had any issues with it at all. There's only one loudspeaker on the phone, so you won't get a stereo setup. It gets pretty loud though, and it's good enough for most audio playback. There's an interesting app called OPPO Relax, where its main goal is to help you relax. And throughout time, a lot of phone manufacturers have just brought in a lot of bloatware to their phones, but I kinda enjoy OPPO Relax because it simply works. It does help in a way to get you to wind down a bit. There are three modes available: Listen, Unwind, and Explore. My favorite mode in the app is the Listen mode, where you can combine imagery and audio to make a really serene setting for yourself. It's a very nice audio-visual experience, and overall I don't think I'll be uninstalling this app anytime soon. It works pretty well. The Reno5 Pro sports a 6.55-inch Super AMOLED display, supporting HDR10 and all that good stuff. Most phones nowadays have pretty good displays, and it continues here with the Reno5 series. You can expect crisp and vibrant imagery on it. Photos, videos, games, all of them look great. You can set the refresh rate to either 90Hz or 60Hz. Obviously you go with 90Hz unless you really need that extra battery life. The phone generally runs well on the new MediaTek processor, along with 12 gigs of RAM. Some computers out there only have 8 gigs of RAM, some even 4 gigs of RAM. So phones have come pretty far in terms of technology. It has 256 gigs of storage, which should be enough for most users, considering that there's no expandable storage. For gaming, most games run pretty alright on the phone. I tried out Ronin The Last Samurai, Genshin Impact and PUBG Mobile. Ronin runs well, no problems there. Well, it's a much simpler game compared to the others that I've tested, which means that most mobile games will probably run good enough on the phone. PUBG also runs pretty smoothly on the default settings, without any lag or stuttering at all. I even managed to get a chicken dinner while testing, which is a good sign. Genshin Impact, however, is a bit much for the phone to run well. Even on the lower settings, I had some stuttering and lag. Frame rates were pretty low. Not really that great of an experience playing this game on the Reno5 Pro. But honestly, the worst part is the phone gets pretty warm while you're playing games on it for too long. So if you tend to game a lot on your phone, the Reno5 Pro might be lacking a bit in that department. Most of the improvements that have been made on the Reno5 series seem to be on the camera features. The AI tech was developed so that ordinary people can take really good photos and videos in almost any situation. It will automatically enhance your image even if you are shooting in the most unfavorable of conditions, well, as best as it can. The Reno5 Pro has a 64 megapixel main cam, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor on the back. Also has a 32 megapixel selfie camera on the front. I've tested all the cameras with the AI scene enhancement on at all times. The photos taken were overall actually pretty good. Of course, the best results were with the 64 megapixel main cam. Generally, photos in daylight look really good as usual. You get sharp, vibrant images overall. However, I do find that the photos do tend to be a bit overexposed at times. The wide and macro cameras are good enough, not amazing. In dim light situations, the AI technology works pretty well also. And the autofocus on the Reno5 Pro works relatively fast as well. I kind of feel that phones with multiple cameras nowadays, the cameras are just there to fill up space, but some of them don't really add that much to the product. Video recording overall is just good enough in my opinion. You can record up to 4K 30 FPS. The image looks pretty good actually. But once again, like a lot of phones, the sound is very basic. Phone companies out there tend to put a lot of effort on camera tech, but audio recording can still be vastly improved upon. And I hope that improvements can be made in the future because currently, with a lot of phones, Reno5 Pro included, it doesn't really cut it that much for me. However, OPPO's AI monochrome feature is always fun to use. We've seen it before on the Reno4 series, and I'm glad it's still available on the Reno5 despite it being a very niche filter. And it's really surprisingly accurate actually, so the results you get with it are pretty amusing. Along with the camera, there's Solo, which is an interesting little app. Apart from basic video editing, its main feature is auto-generating short videos meant for social media platforms. A couple of videos or photos you've taken on your phone, pick a filter and simply generate a video. The app will automatically edit the video for you, add sound, add effects, everything according to what you've picked. I think it's a pretty cool little app. It's pretty nifty that you can generate instant videos, random videos with just a click of a button according to the style you want. Will it actually replace regular video editing? Probably not, but it's a standalone app that you can use and export videos from, so you don't have to rely on shoddy video editing features on social media apps. So instead you can just use Solo and export it to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever other social media app that you're using. Once again, OPPO has come out with a relatively safe phone. What I mean by that is it doesn't really innovate in terms of what a smartphone can provide nowadays. In fact, people are so used to smartphones now that we simply just call them phones. A good display, decent battery life, great camera functionality and decent performance are what we all expect from a phone. And the Reno5 Pro checks all those boxes. It's basically an affordable flagship or a high-end mid-range. But if you're into hardcore mobile gaming, the Reno5 Pro might not be up to the task. However, as an everyday phone for general usage, watching videos, taking good photos, and casual gaming, it works great. So at the end of the day, the Reno5 Pro gets a 3.9 out of 5. It's easy to use, packed with great features while still being under $1,000. Thanks for watching everyone. If you enjoyed this video, you can check out our other content on our website, thehomeground.asia. And until then, I'll see you next time.